Welcome, guys, to another edition of the No Job Podcast. My name is Najee Simmons, your host. This is our season finale. That's right, we've reached the end of season 2. And today we're going to talk about how I know that your boss is a liar. I don't even know your boss. I don't even know the company you're employed with if you have a job right now, but your boss is a liar. Your corporate figurehead, your CEO is a liar. Your HR department is filled with liars. And I've got the proof today. We're going to talk about it because here at the No Job Podcast, we believe that everybody has to earn a living, but nobody has to have a job. But sometimes we get so attached to our jobs because of these lies that we believe from them, because we think we need them, because we've bought the narrative that they've given us. And I'm here to debunk that today because you need this knowledge to start taking steps toward your freedom, toward pursuing your purpose, pursuing your destiny, toward doing what God would have you to do while you're on this planet. And I just believe, and I know you do too, that you can make good money, great money, filling your purpose. This is the No Job Podcast. You want to know what triggers me? When I get emails from corporate at my company, and I'm sure you can relate to this, that refer to the workforce at the job as family. I can't stand that. And the reason I don't like that is because it's done intentionally. It's done with a very specific purpose. It's not done by accident or just to sound sweet or cute. They're doing it, they're hypnotizing you into seeing them as family and ultimately treating them like family. Because with family, sometimes you'll extend yourself beyond what most people might consider reasonable, right? And with family, you might do things that you wouldn't do for other people. With family, you might tolerate some things. You might tolerate some things from your family members and just accept them and deal with it and decide to get over it. Things that you would cut other people off for, things that you would reject people from your life for. Family gets a lot of advantages from you that other people don't. And your job, your workplace wants those advantages. They want to be able to take advantage of you. They want to be able to cross the line with you just as much as a family member would and still get to be in your life. That's what they're after. And it's totally on purpose. But here's something to remember. You're not family. It's the opposite of the song. We are not family. You are in that place for one reason and for one reason only. And that's to earn money, to get a paycheck. And they have you in their building or on their workforce, if you're remote, for one reason, and that is to extract work from you. It is not to give you anything, but to draw out of you as much work as is humanly possible. When people go to business school for management, they're learning techniques about how to extract work from you, how to harvest work from people. I don't know if you've seen The Matrix. Many of you have. In the first one, in the beginning, there's a scene with these people, grown-ups in like embryo pods with like cords attached to the back of their heads, and it's the Matrix is drawing the life force from them. That's how I look at your job. That's all you're there for. They might as well be harvesting your organs. That is why you're in that place. So don't give them the same advantages and the same privileges that you give family. And hey, look, I've had jobs where I have grown as close to some of my coworkers as I might to a family member, and have sort of even been through stuff with those people, but that has certainly been the exception and not the rule. And remember, your coworkers, they're not your employer. They're not the person that you have the contract with. Don't ever let them convince you that you're family, because you're just not. And the chances of, most people find it hard to abandon family, and they're counting on that. Just like it's hard to leave your family, they want it to be that hard to leave your job, because they know probably better than you do that you have other opportunities. You could be elsewhere doing other things, and you could probably be happier. The second thing I need to debunk is this. The idea, I hate the idea, the lie, the false belief that your job has something to offer you other than a paycheck. Your job doesn't have anything for you beyond the paycheck. And that right now, I'm not talking in general. I'm talking specifically to people who took the time out to listen to the No Job Podcast, because you know what we're about here. I know that you want to make a living doing what you love, and you may not have the opportunity or feel you have the opportunity to do that right now. So you're settling. You're at your job settling. And whether you want to admit it or not, you're thinking in the back of your head, if I get a raise, or maybe if I get a promotion, if I move to a different department and a different position, then maybe I'll be more fulfilled. As my grandma would say, hockey. That's an excuse. That's a lie. You're telling yourself that so you don't have to take courage and do what you have to do to be able to leave that job and do what you know that God made you to do. They have nothing for you. In my job now, I always get these emails about other positions in the company that pay more. But listen, if you know the company, you know what they do. And if you ask yourself in your heart of hearts, you know that you don't want to be there, that is not what's going to help you meet your purpose, then all that stuff is garbage. All that stuff should be nothing to you. All that stuff should just be noise, right? So unless it's super easy for you to get a position in your company that'll pay more, I'm not against that. Don't ever think that if I stay here long enough, if I get enough promotions, if I do enough of what they want me to do, this will somehow transform into what God has for me. If it's not your destiny to be at that job, it's never going to be your destiny to be at that job. That job is never going to feel like home for you. You're never going to feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do. Here's what I'm here to debunk: the idea that your job has anything for you at all. Take the paycheck just for as long as you need it and make a way to get out fast and start pursuing what you need to be doing. I also want to debunk the following myth. I told you your boss is a liar, right? They're good at it. They've studied how to do this. This isn't random, okay? This isn't them shooting from the hip. They know what works on human beings, deep psychology, and it's been working on you. But that's why I'm here, to help you uproot that bad thinking. Listen, your job has you thinking that you need it, and it even has you thinking that they need you. And it's kind of tough to explain, because while they're always subliminally communicating the message that you're replaceable, at the same time, they want you to feel like they need you. Because most people have an instinct in them that they don't want to leave somebody that's depending on them hanging. Most people have trouble doing that, even if it's a healthy thing, even if that person is violating their boundaries and you can't realistically help them and you should let them go and you're just going to have to let them struggle. A lot of us have trouble doing that, especially those of us who listen to this show, who are the kind of folks who are oriented to want to help people and to want to make a difference. Things like others struggling and needing us tug at our heartstrings. And the job knows this. They have you believing that they need you. And that's why it's hard for you to take a day off or take your vacation that you're entitled to, your vacation that is part of your compensation. It's hard for you to take it without feeling guilty, without feeling that you're doing something wrong. I remember being sick on my old job and not wanting to take a sick day because I just thought about the work that needed to get done. Here's a better example. There was one snow day and my job was maybe in 40 minutes, an hour away from my house. It was snowing pretty bad. Work was still open and I had plenty of time that I could use for any reason. And I was thinking about the work that needed to be done in the office. And I was like texting my mom and my sister, like, should I go? Should I not? The weather's pretty bad. I don't know. At the time, I had like probably a 97 Corolla. It was not a car equipped to be driving around in the winter snowing. And my sister said something that really brought it home for me. She said, if you tried to drive to work and you got in an accident because of the snow and you were killed, they would find a way to get your work done, wouldn't they? And that really sealed the deal for me. That gave me what I needed to call out. Because a lot of us strive for a sense of importance, and I think it's natural somewhat to want to be looked at as somebody who can assist others and somebody who provides value to a community and to a team. But the truth of the matter is, they don't need you. They might need the work you're doing. They might need the labor you're supplying, but they can get that from somebody else. And rest assured, if you die tomorrow or if you quit tomorrow, they will get that work from somewhere else. Because I'm talking to the person who feels guilty about the idea of leaving his job or leaving her job because you're thinking about the people you're going to be leaving behind and all the gaps going to be left. And you know that you overextend yourself to do X, Y, and Z. And the people that at the job don't know how to do this. They don't know how to do what I do in order to keep the ship running. Trust me, they'll find somebody to figure out. They'll find somebody to figure it out. Put it this way. Think of all the jobs you've left in the past, the jobs that you spent your blood, sweat, and tears working at, overexerting yourself for, doing other people's jobs at. Okay, that place is still in business, right? I bet you for 99% of you, the answer is yes. They're still in business. They're still doing their thing. I'm sorry if I'm hurting your feelings, but I'm also not sorry. They didn't need you, they don't need you, and they never will. They'll find somebody else. So don't let them get you with the guilt trips. And let's reverse it. They also have you thinking that you need them. They make you forget that there was a time when you worked somewhere else, and a time before that where you worked somewhere else, and a time before that where you worked somewhere else, and a time after this when you work somewhere else. Jobs are a dime a dozen. Jobs are a dime a dozen. Just like you left your last job and you're fine, when you leave this job, you'll be better than fine. So those are the main things I wanted to talk about today that your job is doing to you, and the proof I have that they're lying to you because they want you to think that you're family when you're not, to get from you the advantages that family get and to receive from you the benefits that family members do. They want you to think that there's always something to offer. If you just do a little more overtime, get one more promotion, find that new position within the company, then things will be better. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. These lateral moves will never satisfy you. Even moving up the ladder won't. If you're the kind of person that I think you are, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. Because you need to do what God would have you do, and that's just not in a company for most of us. And your employer wants you to think that you need them and that they need you. You guys don't need each other. You both existed before you met, and you're going to exist and prosper after you're no longer a part of each other's worlds. My name is Najee Simmons, and this is the No Job Podcast. Now, what I'm not trying to get you to do is quit without thinking. You can go back to season 1, and I tell my story about when I did that. When I quit my job out of desperation, running from all the things that I hated about it, but not necessarily knowing what I was going to, just jumping into another opportunity that turned out to not be for me because I hated the other job so much. I don't want you to do that. And I lost $50,000 the year I did that. I made $50,000 less than I made at my dumb old stupid job. Like I said in the last segment, it's good for one thing, and that's the paycheck. So take the paycheck and take advantage of this time and make the most of your misery. Okay? Make the most of your misery. As long as you're at that job, understanding it's never going to satisfy you, understanding it's not where you're going to be forever, understanding you always have to be working your plan to make a living doing what you love. When you're at that job, spend your early mornings and your late nights working on your dream, moving the ball forward. Spend your lunch break pushing the ball forward. Spend your lunch break doing it. Bring a little snack and eat it, but spend most of the time doing what you need to do to get out of there. And all this time that you spend on social media, all the downtime you have at your job, it needs to be time you spend thinking about how you're going to get out of there, planning the activities that you'll need to get out of there, and doing them. Because let's face it, nobody works 8 hours straight, except my people in warehouse jobs and things of that nature. I know they work you pretty hard. Do everything you can to get out, though. I can't cut you a break because nobody's going to cut you a break and make your dream life happen. So be strategic because I care about you and I don't want you to have to go through what I did, but get it done. My name is Najee Simmons. As always, I'm so grateful you're listening. This is the No Job Podcast. Man, appreciate you listening and being a part of the No Job podcast. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more, subscribe wherever you're listening so you'll be alerted whenever we come out with new content. Thanks again.